En los próximos minutos, ustedes conocerán cómo fue realizado el concierto que toda Latinoamérica verá en exclusiva por HBO OLED. Peter Gabriel, The Secret World Tour.
This particular show, I was very keen to do something different visually. You know, really, I think it's the biggest sort of visual thing that I've done live since I did The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway with Genesis a long time ago. I'd sort of consciously tried to avoid that for a while. Sometimes, when you look around, everything seems still and calm on the surface. And then you detect a little disturbance. And you know for sure that underneath the surface lies some other secret world.
Per ognuno di noi che ha un mondo segreto, secret world.
What eventually emerged was to work on something with relationships. In a sense, the record had been about relationships, and rather than just personal relationships, we were trying to look at polarities. So you had town, country, synthetic, organic, and principally male and female. And these were going to be represented by square and round stages. When we eventually got the tree for the round stage, yes, Robert suggested these two symbols, phone box for the masculine and tree for the feminine stage. I was reminded of Spinal Tap for a moment when Stonehenge arrived, because I had in mind this grand tree that was going to dominate this circular stage, and what was actually practical for something that we could get underneath the stage and have was the pint-sized version. But nonetheless, I think it still worked in terms of what it symbolized and the way it got lit. It did really create an atmosphere quite simply and effectively.
In the blood of Eden, by the woman and the man, with the man and the woman.
Transition and transformation was a key elements for the way that the Secret World was designed. And one of my favorite moments is when we moved from a masculine stage to the feminine. So it's around across the river. And there was this rain stick and a mist, and you get this sense of transition. And in a sense, it's also discovery of the self and discovering the feminine nature. And that's where Digging in the Dirt takes place. So it's designed in a way to have a narrative from start to finish. Digging in the Dirt, in a sense, is a song looking inside your own head. So the way that was presented was two things. One was this self which came out of the ground that one dug down to reach, and that was in the center of the round stage. And the other was with the head cam. I've been telling Robert that I had an idea which I didn't fulfill before, when I've been sort of falling into the audience of wearing a head cam and filming from my perspective, because I don't think I've seen that as a performer. And he liked that idea, and he also suggested just flipping it back so that it became a way of looking at myself.
This time you come too far. This time you come too far. This time you come too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. This time.
Digging in the Dirt is about anger too, and rage, and it shouldn't be beautiful or pretty. So in a sense, the camera too, when it's doing all the close-ups, is certainly neither beautiful or pretty. In terms of the hardware, a lot of it was sort of purpose-built staging as well, and we had a fantastic crew who were extremely hard-working and patient to get going at the outset, and it was also a serious job loading it in and unloading it. And by the end of the tour, they got that down to a fine art very fast, but I think the crew were very depressed when they saw the amount of dreams that we'd turned into solid lumps of material.
please talk to me.
During the show itself, the crew are very busy. There's a lot of things that you don't see from the outside that are actually going on underneath in terms of preparing bits of props or music changes, and so the odd moments that I was under the stage, it was quite interesting and quite fun to watch the other show.
Come on, baby, get wet with me. Jump in the water. Come on, baby, jump in with me. Jump in the water. Come on, baby, get wet with me.
A lot of people put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into making Secret World, and I think it ended up with something that was different from other shows. So it was important to us to try and get some record of it, and also to film it in such a way that it would work for television as well.
Just like it used to be. Come on, come talk to me. I did not call to see. Hizo unreal.
El próximo 5 de febrero, toda Latinoamérica podrá disfrutar, a través de HBO OLED, de uno de los eventos musicales más ovacionados de la década. Una mezcla innovadora donde los efectos especiales y el montaje teatral se unen a la música para crear un espectáculo único en su estilo.